Well, that sucks.
So we were going to play a little gag on my traffic issues by starting the post-game show with the plant. And then, do we even have another one? We could have borrowed like the little Christmas tree or something.
Yeah,
and
that
then
would have
just
been you.
grab microphones off camera and pretend that the plants are talking, but it's us. Unfortunately, it took too much production work for us.
We're about as entertaining as two plants.
Yes. And we're about as happy as two plants right now in the cold. Stars lose to the Predators tonight. Luds and I are going to break it all down. John is here to keep us on track, maybe, or maybe not.
We'll see.
Maybe we'll just go all over the place.
We'll see if I feel like it tonight.
Let's see what producer John is feeling. Stars postgame show here on DLS starts right now. Yeah, that's an ugly one. This is the DLS, Dallas Stars postgame show after a 4-1 loss to the Nashville Predators tonight at American Airlines Center. Alongside Craig Ludwig, I'm Owen Newkirk. John Anderson is our producer. He's live as well, thankfully, because I don't think we get on the show without it. Although Luds did say during our daytime show that he feels he could run the show if the roles were reversed. If he had to produce, he's ready to go.
Well, I wasn't producing.
Luds, I would challenge you to walk over here and tell me the name of the program that we use to do the show. Just find the
name
icon.
of them? All you do is push buttons over there, and you push the wrong ones.
This is true.
John,
no comeback?
John, do you have your fingers ready? Because if Luddy tried, I'm telling you, the sky
with the HR
would,
violations.
What's that?
The bell would be ringing, and the sky would be falling.
I was going to say the sky would be falling immediately.
And Tomahawk City.
Tomahawk City.
Do you guys want to play Stump the Producer right now?
Just
start throwing drops at me.
Well, I mean, I bet you don't have R2D2, R2 Huru ready. He does. Oh, that's fantastic.
This is exactly how the game went in the first couple periods, too.
This would have been more entertaining.
It would have been. Just play The Sky is Falling like 10 times.
Yeah.
We probably laughed.
Which way did he go? Which way did he go?
It was a brutal game because, look, we talked about the potential. Remember, Letty, you said it's an awful question when you ask the coach about a trap game. And they asked him about it coming off the road trip, but they had lost in LA and in Vegas. So they came home to play Calgary. I didn't think it felt like a trap game because they had lost 2 games and they didn't want to lose another one, even though they were on fumes, and they found a way to beat the Flames. This, to me, felt more like a trap game because they had 2 days off, a practice day, and then they were playing the team with the worst record in the NHL that had lost 4 in a row, winless in 8. And we played the clip from Pete DeBoer. We're going to go out and we have to get on them early. You can't let a bad team hang around. He didn't call them a bad team. Those are my words. But basically a team with a lousy record. And what do they do, Luds? They let them hang around.
Well, they put it on a platter for him. I mean, this would be, from a coach's standpoint, this would be a disappointing effort. And that, to me, it's just effort. And it was almost like just going through the motions and everybody else is beating this team and we're going to beat this team. You know, I don't know if the next time there's a 3 days in between 2 games that they're going to get 2 days off anymore. You might have just sent that one down the
Well, Pete
river.
had a funny line yesterday after practice where he said, he goes, maybe we should dangle the second day off more often. We got a nice win out of that.
Yeah, but he may rethink that now. Yeah.
Is that a Family Guy laugh?
That would be the Stewie. Yeah, that would be
That's
Stewie.
what I was
Stewie's
going to
laugh.
say. That sounds like the fake Stewie laugh. Well, in that first period, Nashville outshot Dallas 8-5. Shot attempts were 17-13 Preds. And they had more quality chances. I had an 8-5 edge. The only thing that really stood out to me was Dallas was 12 of 15 in the face-off circle. They absolutely dominated the draws, but they didn't do anything with it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They didn't do anything but that. Yeah, again, it was like they were in slow-mo.
Yeah.
Like they were kind of sleepwalking through the game, which is puzzling to me because I don't see these guys as that kind of a team, that kind of a group, I should say, not team. That I just think there's enough leadership in there that they don't allow those things to happen, but it did.
Well, Lian Bichsel, who made his NHL debut,
Had a lot of firsts tonight.
A pretty eventful first shift. He gets the cross-checking penalty,
Which was BS.
I thought it was a very soft call because he knocks the guy down by hitting the top of his pants, right?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
an
I don't
old
think he got
defensive
it
move.
there. I think
You
he
think
got
it was
it
the
for
second one?
that cross check in the chest, which wasn't anything. It's what that is. That's a 6'7" guy hitting somebody in the chest, and that's what it is. That's all it is. And there was nothing flagrant about that.
How about the defensive play on the penalty kill by Thomas Harley, where Novak took a shot from the low right side. Oettinger made the save, but the puck came free on the rebound, and it was
one-handed swat
right on the side of the crease.
Yeah.
And Harley, rather than try to tie things up, actually goes with the really risky pass behind his goalie through the crease to the other side.
That wasn't a pass. That was getting it out of the
Well, it
crease.
was clear.
But what was it wasn't risky. I think it was smart about it. You would normally try to do that with both hands, try to get around the backside. But being left-handed, you couldn't get around it. So he takes his left hand off where he can get the stick around, and with his wrist, he just kind of swats the puck through. And it is kind of because it's bobbling a little bit.
I mean, he's knocking it right into the open area where it either takes a bump and it's in the net, or somebody sneaks around behind Oettinger. I mean, I thought it was a really heads-up move, but it takes some gall.
I would guarantee you that he was making sure that, if anything, it was you swatted enough and you angled your blade enough that it's not just kind of going in, past the net. It's going to come out in front of the net, if anything, and fortunately it went where it needed to go.
Well, they gave up a really dangerous one-timer to Marchessault in the low left slot. Oettinger made a very good save. That was the first high-danger chance of the night, your favorites.
Yeah.
But you know what? Mason Marchment had one but missed the net. Top of the crease, and he put it wide. And then later, I thought that chance that Robertson had, that spinning backhander in the slot, Onunen had to stretch. It was a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
However, that was your period. And they were a little fortunate not to be behind, because this Wilsby, right? He's a young guy. His name is, I'm grabbing the wrong one. That's Calgary. So Adam Wilsby, playing in his 8th NHL game, thought he had his first NHL goal. Actually, a heck of a shot.
Oh.
They challenged. Stars hadn't challenged a play yet this season. This is game number 28. And they successfully get the goal overturned. And Wilsby is offside on the entry. But this was not the only time in the night this Wilsby kid made a very positive impression.
Isn't he a defenseman?
He is. But his positive impressions were in...
He was offsides.
Yeah. On the rush.
How many times was he down there at the net? But I guess, you know what? We didn't know who he was at the start of the game. He finished the game +4. He played like 16 minutes.
24-year-old from Stockholm.
And he's flying all over the ice. He looked great. Well, maybe that was part of the way Dallas was playing, that he looked great, because there was a lot of open ice out there. There were lanes that you could get through tonight.
I was impressed with the kid. The Swedish defenseman. It's not the first time we've seen an offensive Swede on the blue line do stuff like that, especially in Dallas. But they get through the period. Fine. Okay, it was ugly, but it's still 0-0. They go to the second period, and they came out with a better effort as far as opportunities. Steele, Heiskanen, Bichsel, Heiskanen again, Ben. Problem is, Luds, they're all from distance, and there's one and done. And that's what we were hearing Razor say on the broadcast, and you've been saying it all year. When you don't get interior to get those rebounds, you're really making it easier for the goalie.
Yeah, they were a perimeter team tonight when it came to offensive chances, and there wasn't a lot of follow-up. And again, a lot of times I just think that they get caught up in this phase where, and maybe it was a team, maybe it was because Saros wasn't in net, it was the other guy, that they figure that if they got into a certain area, their shots were going to go in the net. So there wasn't the follow-up as if, I mean, you watch a lot of the goal scorers, and I'm talking Stamkos and Marcel, all these guys, they follow their shots because they don't expect them to go in the net. I mean, they do expect them to go to the net, but they follow them just in case they don't. And there wasn't a lot of that tonight.
two big-time chances on one play for the Preds in the second period. Jankowski had a play in the right circle where it looked like he was defended, but then he somehow got through and has a one-on-one from that angle with Oettinger. Oettinger squared to him, but still a good chance. And then the rebound gets cleared right to Luke Shen, who takes a step into the slot and rips it. Oettinger got it with a glove. But, I mean, that sort of summed up the night. Just chasing the play, sloppiness on details, and your goalie's trying to keep you bailed out.
Not enough going down Main Street at one end of the rink and putting the red carpet out at the other end of the rink, especially in the second period.
Disappointing moment for Maverick Bourque, though, because he had the best chance of the second period. At least to that point, he had the best chance of the game, I thought, as he gets an open shot in the slot coming downhill. And again, Oettinger, good save.
Yeah.
Don't want to take anything away from the Finnish goalie. I want that in the back of the net.
Right now, it doesn't seem like it comes off of Bourque's stick like it does some other players. You know how it just
like Lian
popped,
Bichsel?
like Bichsel? Like that thing would pop. But I mean, you look the way these guys can shoot the puck now, it just doesn't seem to come off with the same snap off of Bourque's stick.
So Steele goes to the net, and at first I thought he got into the pads of Oettinger, trying to get a loose puck. But I saw the replay. At first I was like, I think Steele might have deserved to get a little face wash from Forsberg, who didn't like the contact on his goalie. The replay kind of looked like the puck might have been loose. Forsberg gives him a couple of shots up high, and then Stamkos comes in as like the third guy. Steele gets into it. They take them both.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Okay, whatever. Referees didn't want to affect the game. I thought there should have been something on the Preds because when you get 2-on-1 after the whistle, isn't third man in still a penalty in the NHL? Or do you think that's a little touchy?
It's a little touchy.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll back off.
Little touchy, a little soft.
4-on-4, right away. Harley bursts down the left wing, turns the corner, goes to the net.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like he was shot out of a cannon.
He looked good again tonight. I've really liked this game. He's come along again. You know what? He may have some deficiencies every once in a while in his own zone, maybe, in the corner where he's supposed to be on the ice, but he spends most of the time with the puck going the other direction, so it kind of covers up any of those little things.
One of the forwards for the Preds is Tommy Novak. He wears number 82. I kept seeing Swedish defenseman Adam Wilsby. He's 83, and I had to double take because it looked like a forward.
Yep.
And then, as Luddy was saying, what position does he play? He gets in 4-on-4. He's literally leading the charge, gets a shot, it goes over the net. But then Jonathan Marchessault digs it out, throws it to the front of the net, and O'Reilly, from a very tight angle, goes right upstairs. And the Preds have the lead. It's at 11:40. And Wilsby gets his first NHL point, and Marchessault with his 9th assist. It's a nice finish for O'Reilly, who's been out for almost 2 weeks. But I don't like the way the Stars defended that around the net.
Defended it. Huh? That's embarrassing you use that word. I mean, Robo just everybody skates past that puck. They're all staring behind the net. 4 guys. Essa went by it first. Who else was out there? Robo was the last guy to skate by it.
So was
it Lundqvist out there?
Nils.
Nils was behind the net, and then with the puck and the player, and then Essa skates past the front of the net. Then whoever was out there with Robo,
Stankoven,
that's
Robertson,
so
Nils, and
Stank there
Essa
skated right by the good area of the ice, and then Robo skated by it. And in dances, like I said, they just laid the red carpet down, and it was a nice shot, nice little move, by O'Reilly. But again, it's embarrassing how they covered that up to skate past the dangerous area on the ice in your own zone, and everybody had had their eyes facing the end boards is just. It's going to make that would be stuff I'd be showing tomorrow.
Obviously, the coverage in front of the net was
there
lacking.
was no coverage.
But what about the Marchessault forecheck and puck battle win on Lundqvist? Where he
knocked him off the puck kind of thing. Yeah, he out-muscled him, but again, that happens, and he got knocked off the puck. That was a veteran guy telling a young guy, move out of my way, son. But the other 3 guys, for me, it should have never happened. Never happened. Nobody turns around and looks.
So that's 1-0 Nashville. They would score again less than 2 minutes later, and we'll talk about that coming up here on the DLS Dallas Stars postgame show.
First, it's liquor time. Founded in 2010, Herman Marshall, Dallas County's first legal distillery since the repeal of Prohibition. Located in historic downtown Wiley, Texas, is proud to partner with the Guns N' Hoses Foundation of North Texas on a single barrel expression of its signature straight bourbon whiskey. The Guns N' Hoses Foundation is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing immediate financial assistance to the families of fallen police officers and firefighters lost in the line of duty. They're built from the grain up through family, fellowship, and friends. So, for every bottle of single barrel straight bourbon whiskey, Herman Marshall donates 15% of its revenue to the Guns N' Hoses Foundation of North Texas for those who went before. Stop into your closest Goody Goody Liquors and other fine retailers.
Let's talk about game time. Are you ready for the enthusiasm?
Yeah, I tried to fake it too.
All right, well, let's do it. It's the holidays. Game time is focused on togetherness this holiday season. That means when you bring people together at live events, the experience is that much better. And what an idea for the perfect gift. Concerts, sporting events, theater shows, stand-up comedy. You can find them all with Game Time. You can download their app, use Game Time Picks, makes getting tickets for live events even easier. You can also do it right on their website. Go to Game Time, and you can look at all the events and all the venues that you want. Plus, they have these little virtual seat diagrams so you can see exactly what part of the theater or arena, stadium you're sitting, how far away from the stage or from the ice or whatever surface they're competing. You'll get a great view, and you know you'll get a great price thanks to their lowest price guarantee. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it, Luds?
Game time.
All right. So, as I mentioned, they're down 1-0, the Stars to the Preds. And less than 2 minutes later, Tommy Novak makes it 2-0. And it's Marchessault with the setup again. But actually, Novak starts this play with winning a board battle on the sidewall.
What happened is when Jamie went in to hit him, he rolls off him. And Novak ends up coming out of there. And then the second thing that happens is that play's coming on and Novak starts to come out. That when Marchessault gets the puck, he comes from the front. Well, Harley follows him. He takes about 3 steps towards where he wants to go, and Marchessault is kind of going to the face-off dot area where the puck actually originated on the same side where Jamie is. And as he does that little pass, Marchessault makes that pass to Novak driving to the net, and then Thomas can't recover on that. And now it comes down to Jake making a save.
And that's so hard for a goalie when he's tracking a puck going one direction and a player with speed goes the other way. It's so hard for him to stop and start quickly.
Yeah, it was. And again, it's about getting focused on your guy and not reading it. Because if Thomas is watching what's going on, he sees that Novak beats Jamie off the wall and he's starting to come to the net. And he should be able to accept that, knowing that he's getting pulled out of position. But again, it's about, I got my guy and I'm staying with him. And he knew it too. He took about 3 strides, and then he tried to stop, and by then Novak was already beyond him.
So you have a team that's lost 8 in a row, right? Winless in 8, 0-5-3. They've lost straight up the last 4, 0 points in them. Their captain is injured in the last game. He's on the trip but doesn't play. Kevin Gravel, the AHL captain.
Who?
That's right. He's the captain of the Milwaukee Admirals, their AHL affiliate. Gets called
from the great
up.
state of Wisconsin.
And guess what? He takes a shot, and Ryan O'Reilly redirects it for his second goal of the night. 3 goals, 2 minutes, and 59 seconds. It goes from a 0-0 game to a 3-0 game, and it felt like the game was over right there.
It did. And really there's nothing, you know how many times I went, well, you know how many times I go through every goal. But there's really nothing that I could say about that goal. First off, it's a great play by O'Reilly, kind of twerking your body around to be able to get it on there. And from there, it's a seeing eye tip because it just kind of goes through a bunch of people and into the net.
The thing to me as I watched that replay, Luds, was O'Reilly gets it with the lower part of the shaft of his stick. It's above the heel, and it's intentional. And so it's a skinny part of the stick. And to be able to not just get a tip on it, but he actually gets a bit of a bunt to it. He actually pushes it. The shot comes from the left point, and he actually tips it back toward the left post. That is incredibly hard to do.
But, the reason he's doing that is because he knows the shot is probably going a little bit wide. So he's just trying to redirect it towards it. I mean, we've seen Joe Pavelski do it a lot, and because he was able to do it on his forehand, backhand, because these guys know where they are on the ice and they know where the direction the puck's going, and then they know that it's got to go back. In his case, it had to go back to more to the middle to his right side.
So at the 10-minute mark of the second period, it's 0-0. At the 15-minute mark, they're down 3. And after that, Marchessault should have made it 4. He had a redirection in the low slot. Oettinger made a really good save. Could have been 4. It didn't matter. Period was over, and they got shellacked. However, they did have a power play. They're only one of the game, the Stars, that carried over into the third period. And it's funny because there was about 45 seconds left in the second period when the arm went up. And it was a call against Forsberg for slashing. It was a dumb penalty because he was slashing from behind. I think it was on Bichsel. And at that moment, I'm trying to decide in my head, do you give him the puck immediately so you get 40 seconds of power play time, or do you try to possess it for the rest of the period so you get 2 minutes into the fresh ice of the third period? It's kind of a tough one to have it broken up like that at the end.
I want it the power play at that, because you want to try to score before you go in. I mean, you get
want
that
some momentum.
You get a little bit of a bump going into the intermission, and a lot of times it's been shown. You would think that you come out at the start of the period on good ice. The record's not there what you think of as far as goals being scored.
It feels like it's easier for a penalty kill to get into a period than a power play.
Well, because you're at a disadvantage going in.
Yeah.
There's the extra guy. I mean, and I think you just think you have fresh ice, and you've been sitting there for 15, 17 minutes. Everybody's got the wind on, but it doesn't usually pan out that way.
It seems like similarly, if you get an early power play in a game, let's say first couple of minutes, you would think that that'd be a huge advantage. If a team's able to kill that, it works against you.
Especially a road team.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to find ways all the time to get the fans to shut up.
And it worked.
Yeah.
So the Stars get into the third period. They get a couple more chances on their carryover power play. Wyatt Johnston had the best one. That shot is he kind of stick-handled open into the slot. But Justus Annunen was really good tonight.
He was on it. I mean, again, part of this night isn't all on the Dallas Stars. Their goaltender played really well.
And he was forced to save a ton of pucks in the third period. Stars had 16 shots in the second period and 17 in the third period. But Luds, they only had 5 in the first, and that's where things went wrong, even though they gave up all the goals in the second. And they had Heiskanen, Johnston, Lundqvist, Marchment, Robertson, Ben backdoor from Wyatt. I mean, you thought he got it with the glove. When I watched it, I thought Jamie didn't elevate it quite enough. Now, that's being very critical because he gets a quick pass and shoots it quickly.
I went back and saw it. We're both kind of right because because the glove came down in front of the pad.
So he didn't get it over the height of the pad.
Right.
Okay.
Because his glove came down below it. So it would have hit the pad.
50-50.
But yeah, so we were both there.
Okay. But that was a great chance.
Yeah.
If he elevates that a little bit more, maybe he gets it with the glove, or maybe
there was a lot of ifs tonight, weren't there?
A lot of ifs.
Yep,
And the problem with ifs, when you're chasing hockey, you're probably playing losing hockey. But then we get a glimmer of hope from a young Swiss defenseman who had himself a very memorable night, as Lian Bichsel scores in his first ever NHL game, his first goal from Sam Steele and Jamie Benn at 10:34 of the third period. And it was just an innocuous little, here comes a big guy up over the blue line on the rush. And then...
Did you just see Sam Steele pop up?
I did. The man of Steel got an assist.
Oh, is that why?
He had the primary.
I think the producer jumped the gun a little bit.
Well, Jamie bumped the puck up the wall. Steele played it into the middle because he saw guys coming forward, and it was Bichsel that grabbed it from about just behind the red line. He skates in, and then it just explodes off his stick, blazes by the blocker of Annunen, who looked like he had no idea that was coming.
It's just a big, strong young man letting it go. And and they've got, so when they're that tall, they've got extra long sticks. So you've got a little bit more snap on your stick. And when you're 230 pounds and 6'7", and it doesn't even look like there was much bend in the stick.
Doesn't it remind you a little bit of the way Laine?
Oh, no, you're going to go with Laine again.
I am, but we watched 3 of them this week, right?
I hope you're right. I hope he is a defensive Laine.
It'd be incredible, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What I mean is that sometimes when Laine takes that shot, it doesn't look like he's you said this to me the other day. It doesn't look like he's loading up, and then all of a sudden the puck just goes careening off the stick.
I just wonder sometimes it's a goaltender. It's a new player. They don't know much about him, right? but it came off his stick. So yeah, again, there, like you said, there were a lot of firsts tonight. You know, his first game, like you said,
First
his
penalty.
first penalty, his first would have been a minus, first goals against, and then your first break because it gets called back. Then he takes his first big hit from McCarron, who's 6'6", 230
Did you see
pounds.
what happened on that
Oh
play?
yeah, and he got nicked.
This Bichsel skate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when's the last time you saw, again, 6'7" guy, a skate get up that high? And McCarron did come back to start the second period, but it was his second shift of the game, and he grabbed the side. Did you see if it was like the side of the face?
All I could see was his glove over.
It was somewhere
it was down here.
near the
It was
neck.
here. Yeah, it was near the neck.
And that's really a scary thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But fortunately, he was able to recover. But I saw him grab the side of his head, neck, and skate immediately to the bench. He went right down the tunnel between the two benches because there's a access between the Stars bench and the visitors. Unless there's a serious injury, typically the road team players don't go that way.
Right.
This was not a, hey, you don't go there. This was fast as you can.
Yeah, well, that's because it was probably pretty close to that juggler that they're all worried about. I'm thinking that I don't think the Bichsel family is too disappointed in staying up till 4:30 in the morning watching this game.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, they probably would have been excited
Now,
just to see him play.
There were mistakes that were made by him, and they were more positioning mistakes. There was one in the first period. He went to the wall. He didn't read what was happening coming off the wall because somebody came off the wall, a little puck interchange, and it ended up being a pretty good chance off the wall. The goal that there was, the goal that came down the center of the ice. He was too far over. He didn't get close off the middle of the ice, and so. But those things are going to happen. And again, the game is happening at a different speed here than being in the minors, and so the adjustments there, and the recovery, he could probably do that there. Here, things happen a little bit quicker. And again, those are things that, he's going to eventually, obviously, figure that part out and where to be on the ice.
I want to ask you more about him as we sum it all up. But just to finish our recap, they thought they had their fourth, Nashville, as Blankenberg fired one into an open net. Stars challenged again and successfully got it overturned for goalie interference this time. And you called it. Philip Forsberg was all over Jake Oettinger and didn't allow him to reset and play the position.
Well, we have the luxury of watching the replays up there, because when the overhead had it, he had his hand right around the back of his neck. But Jake it looked like he thought the puck was over to his right side. It
didn't look like he was trying to get to the other side.
Yeah, because I think he thought maybe he had it covered for a second. And then when he noticed that it was here and everything was going that way, that's when I think they made that call because he wasn't able to recover back to his left.
And Forsberg went into the crease by himself. He wasn't like he was shoved in or out. And he, as you said, he grabbed right around that back part of the goalie mask where it's strapped in, and he's kind of yanking on him a little bit. I mean, I thought it was a pretty obvious
Hey, if you ain't
call.
cheating, you ain't trying.
Well, it stayed 3-1, and you're thinking, okay, maybe the Stars can keep this comeback going after the Bichsel goal. Well, they pulled the goalie for the extra attacker, and then a clear by the Preds, and the wrong guy was chasing the loose puck, at least against Gustav Nyquist. It was Jason Robertson, and Nyquist caught him, won the puck, centered it, and Leroux, the rookie, Zachary Leroux, scored his third goal of the year from O'Reilly and Nyquist. Empty netter at 16:47. It's 4-1. That would do it. Ryan O'Reilly finished with a 3-point game, 2 goals and an assist. And the Stars, who had only lost one game at the AAC this year and none when Jake Oettinger started, get pretty much pumped 4-1 by the worst team record-wise in the NHL this year.
Can't sum it up any better than just saying a disappointing performance. Talking about Robo, I kept thinking when he was going, I thought Robo's on his way to a touchdown to get to that puck. He's at the 10-yard line, and the closest guy to him is on the 30-yard line, trying to track him down. Well, he tracked him down, and I was like, really? I don't know if he thought he had more time or not, but, I mean, again, we've said he's not the fastest guy out there.
It'd be weird for me to bring up Lian Bichsel in the Super Bowl.
I was going to do that, but it wouldn't be weird because I was thinking it. I was thinking of the snow and
chasing that down and knocking the ball.
The first thing is, why are you doing that? Yeah.
Yep. Well, 4-1 the final.
The good news is this is game 28. It happened in that game, not in game 83.
And we have plenty of good things to talk about of one Lian Bichsel, which we'll get to along with your chats. We'll do some man of the match stuff a little bit later. And who knows what kind of hijinks are in store here on the DLLS Dallas Stars postgame show. But first, it's time to talk about Empire Today. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. There are many, many other copycats out there because Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring, but they can't be beat on quality, service, speed, so their competition advertises lower cost stuff that's lower quality. Empire would never stock that stuff, and so you cannot worry about putting stuff in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs because you went to Empire. They keep it simple with curated product selections. Their philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of choices. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code DLLS. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/DLLS for details. Now let's talk about Constant Contact. Can you believe we're almost in, well, actually already in Q4? That means it's crunch time for those business goals you set back in January. Well, no matter how experienced you are with digital marketing, Constant Contact has the tools to make your marketing run smoother. Sell more, raise more, and build more genuine relationships with your audience with Constant Contact's suite of digital marketing tools, all made to fast-track your success. Own the smartphone by adding texting to your marketing strategy. You can sell more online in less time with Constant Contact's powerful e-commerce tools. Get all the automation, integration, and reporting tools that get your marketing running seamlessly. Time to put the go in your 2024 business goals with email, social, SMS, and customized marketing campaigns built for you in just a few clicks. Ready, set, go to ConstantContact.com/AllCity and start your free trial today. Go to ConstantContact.com/AllCity for your free trial. All right. Let's do some chats. John, do we have any super chats tonight? Anybody fired up?
Not at the moment, but somebody did just ask how to super chat, so I described how to do it, which for anybody who doesn't know, directly to the right of where it says chat, there is a dollar bill with a dollar sign on it. That is where you click to super chat. So if Patrick gets that in, we will go to him. But otherwise, it is definitely a commiserating evening in the chat. A lot of people
Everybody's
upset.
in a down mood tonight. Why wouldn't they be?
So Lane wrote, I'm going through this backwards, more recent ones. Pete DeBoer playing 5 defenseman rotation for the last month of the regular season screwed us. Should have just played Nils, Miro, Harley, Tanev, and Essa were burnt by the Edmonton series. Now that's going back and relitigating the playoffs, but there you have it. Maybe I should go to the beginning and see if we can get caught up a little bit on that. Let's see. Lyle Austin says, one positive tonight is that St. Louis lost, Minnesota lost, and unless the Avs do a third period comeback, which they are known for, then we are still sitting in a playoff position.
That's a good way to look at it.
I mean,
Don't lose any ground.
The other night, everybody in the Western Conference that was in and around the Stars won.
Yeah, and when you've got 2 or 3 games in hand, you kind of look at that as lost points if somebody's picking some up on you. And that is, Colorado is the team that's on your heels right now.
Lane, who was the other comment, said, pretty sure Stamkos accidentally punched his own teammate in the face while trying to get Steele. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah. It happened to Claude Lemieux a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Accidentally
on purpose?
Yeah.
A lot of Stamkos hate in the chat. A lot of people talking about how he's a
I saw
Court
that.
said he's a punk. Them kind of talking about that he's a sneaky, dirty player. People don't really realize it. Some of that going around.
Are you ready for
I've never heard that one before.
for another compliment about your suggestions?
I don't know what suggestion that would be.
Well, I'll refresh your memory.
Okay, refresh.
Lyle says, I think Ludsey. He called you Ludsey.
Oh,
You get a
we're
lot of
probably
Ludsies?
yeah, buddies.
Well, no, but Ludsey,
One of my kids' nickname is Sudsy.
but not
Shocker,
Ludsey.
but-
So I think Ludsey had one of the best suggestions the other day. Drop Wyatt Johnston down with Mush and Dutchie. Throw Dodonov up with Robo and Hintz. Dodonov is a tactician, and I think he can be the mediator.
Well, the one thing about if Dodonov went up there is Dodonov plays a little bit more east and west. than Stank does. And when you play East and West, and if you're playing with Robo, I think that allows a little more time for him to get up into a spot where maybe he could find him, where, otherwise it's a little more straight line-ish.
T Farmer, wow, Luds with the energetic game time call. See?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can fake it.
Well, we always make fun of Sam when he gives us the low energy game time. So we have to give you...
Especially under these circumstances.
Goodness gracious.
Thank you, Herman Marshall.
Let's see. They're trying to trade Matt Dumba already.
It's going to be tough trading a guy that's sitting out right now with a head problem.
They want Charlie McAvoy, is what I was
do they?
In the chat. Yeah,
I'm sure they'll do that one even up,
that
1 for 1.
I believe it might have been Lyle said, I live only 12 hours from Boston.
I think that guy that wants McAvoy is you.
No, why would I already have McAvoy? Why would I give McAvoy away?
Yeah, but then he would be close by. You could go out and have a beer downstairs at Dick's or something like that.
I don't think he would hang out with me.
No, you never know.
All right, Les, we have a defensive pairing comment. Ardell says, stop putting Harley and Miro together. And T Farmer says, Miro needs Bichsel, like I said in the Discord. What do you think? Is it too early to put Bichsel with Miro?
Yeah, it's too early, and the only reason I would say that right now is because Miro's out there 27 minutes a night or 26, and he's playing against top lines. And when you're going to put him out there against a McDavid and McKinnon, I think it's a little too much too early for him right now. I think you got to let him get into this game and get acclimated as much as he can with the speed and where everything is. I mean, for me, the perfect guy is Essa with Miro.
Yeah.
We've seen, and I just think there's a comfortable feeling from Miro when he's with Essa.
Here's an interesting thought. Because you have another left defenseman with Bichsel up right now. Let's say he sticks. Again, that's super early because he could play a couple good games and still go back down. You could then, because they did it with Harley, you could have Essa with Miro, Harley Lyubushkin, Bichsel and Nils, or Harley and Nils and Bichsel and Lyubushkin, which is what they did a little bit, but they also played him. I mean, they were mixing it up a little bit. Is this too early to figure it out? I mean,
I could see Bichsel and Lyubushkin.
Yeah.
At some point. And, the thing is now then Thomas is playing with who? Lundqvist? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. What would you think?
Well, again, it's about matching up sometimes for me,
one
too.
issue about putting Essa with Miro is that if you play Bichsel with Lyubushkin, which makes sense, then stylistically is Harley and Lundqvist too similar in their offensive approach?
Yeah.
And is that a problem?
Well, and they're both not geared to think defense,
yeah.
Kind of thing. I think, and they're trying to get a little more offense out of Lundqvist, and there's plenty from. And then the other thing about that is if Thomas is the guy moving up the ice, you got to count on Lundqvist because there's going to be times where there's going to be outnumbered rushers coming back, and you got to make sure that he's comfortable or you're comfortable enough with him right now that he can play them the proper way.
Prime Crusader, Stars cannot trade Bichsel. Remember, there's a lot of talk the other day about would you trade one of your high prospects to improve this team right now? Just my hunch, and this was even before this game, but who would you say that he could become, Bichsel?
I've compared him tonight. Well, I didn't compare him. I think I said to John, might be the closest thing we've seen to Darian Hatcher, but maybe with a little more speed getting up the ice. And you know what I'm saying? Like if he's going to play that way, he's going to have more time and space around him. And you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen him fight? If he had to fight, I'm assuming.
I want to say yes, I've seen it once, but I can't remember the details.
Again, it's not that important in today's game either, though. But when you have that and you get now. I was telling John, we were sitting up tonight, there are some times where you can see, I don't want to call it clumsiness, but he's a big guy. So it's not going to look, smooth like Harley skating up the ice or Miro. So again, I just think you got to tap the brakes a little bit on putting him on the top pair and all this other kind of stuff because this is game one and this is a team that he played against tonight that won their first game and 15 or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So they're not that great team. To me, these things kind of, when you put guys with certain guys and say, let's move this guy here and let's put him up here right away, first off, you got to give him some time to settle in. And then it's always about what's going to happen when we get to playoff time. What's going to happen when you're playing against the big boys and the high-end guys that you're going to meet at that time of the year. And so, like I said before the show, like, be careful throwing them into the deep end of the pool just yet. I think this was obviously a great first step. And this kind of stuff travels through the rest of the league. And they're going to know that he's a physical guy. He's a big guy. And eventually that's going to buy him a little time and space to make some other little plays.
Lud, do you want to check out your flip book that we made of Bichsel tonight?
Oh, well, this is a negative thing, no. Well, not negative.
Ooh,
so
we got drawings.
Yeah, John got his crayons
the
out.
technology in DLLS is through the roof right now. We are officially in the golden
And we got
age.
a nice iPad over there you can draw on. They're just afraid to give it to me. They think I'm going to write bad words on it. Well, this is one where we give up the middle of the ice. And you can see Bichsel over here if you're watching. Bichsel, the puck is now moved over to the right-hand side of the ice and move it over to the right defensive side of the ice. Bichsel is still by the dot on the left-hand side. He needs to be in the middle of the ice. When that puck is over there, he's way too wide. And what happens is now and this was the goal that was offsides, wasn't it?
Yes. He's offside.
This was one that was offside. So when you watch
so don't
player,
look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, forget that part.
That's not
but
part
this
of
is the positioning stuff he's got to learn. Because by the time he recovers to the middle of the ice, the guy that had the circle is now in a spot. It's a good scoring shot from there. And there's an arrow at that because John actually thought Bish should have saved this.
Oh,
so I'm just like, he goes,
yeah. About Ottinger should have saved this.
Don't put that
he
on
said
me,
Otter should have saved that one. Did I say Ott? I meant
You
Otter.
said Bish.
Oh, Bish. Well, Bish would have stopped it if he was. It's a little.
Well, what about? I thought you were talking about Ben Bishop. Would he have stopped that?
No.
You're talking about Bichsel. I know.
Bichsel could have stopped that if he. I'm calling him Bichsel.
Yes.
He's going to be here.
Okay.
But he needed to be over way earlier, And if he's over there, that play doesn't even happen. But again, that things happen. I said it in the beginning. Things are going to happen a little bit quicker here than they did down in Cedar Park. And that's an example of it right there. And he probably was able to recover to that same kind of play there. So the urgency and the awareness, that's all got to be done upstairs for him too. And again, these are little things. It's way too soon to be nitpicky on this.
Bing bang.
Well, T Farmer went to the super chat. $4.99. That's Heiskanen and the cup here. Luds, what is the best way for Bichsel to tell the coaches, don't send me down? Did he do enough tonight to warrant him staying up if Dumba is ready Saturday?
His play will make that decision on him. And again, I think they're going to be very happy with the first game that he had, and they're going to pick out the little things that I've been talking about. But the one thing for sure for me, I think, playing with confidence.
Yep.
A lot.
Every time he's played, whether there's been good moments or bad, it doesn't look like he's phased.
The
very
moment's
much
not
by
too
it.
big for him. No. But again, it's catching up with the speed and position. That's it.
Well, I would talk about some clips we played on the pregame show, but the one thing I remember is that one he said where he likes to play within the emotions of the game. When Heike asked him, you kind of like pissing people off. And he said, yeah, I like to play with that emotion. Right. He just has, when he plays, he almost plays with this bit of a sneer and a little bit of a smirk. Like, yeah, you want to do something? All right, let's go.
When you're that big, you can do that.
Yeah.
So
Joe Mama said Hatcher was slow as molasses.
Yep.
Bichsel has way more skill than Hatcher had.
I don't know if he's got more skill yet. He may, but nobody wanted to go to Hatcher's side.
How about this? Lyle said, Joe Mama, slow molasses running up a hill in the middle of winter in Canada. Which is where I live. Ha ha. They're just taking shots at Hatcher right now.
I was going to say, I think when Hatch was here, everybody pretty much loved the way that he played. I mean,
and gave him some space.
Yeah. He got the job done.
Well, did you see? So when you read the Joe Mama comments there, Owen, Joe Mama then followed up and said, different time, no one in the modern NHL is like Hatcher, to which Court chimed in, because the way Hatch played is illegal and should be.
No one there was one there that said no one in the modern era is like Hatcher.
No one in the modern NHL. I think what they mean is this current.
I think Jacob Trouba is pretty close to the way that Hatch played. Well, Jesus, he lays people out all over the ice.
Yeah.
And he can't fight like Hatch.
No.
But,
But he does impose his size there.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? There were a couple things that I was looking at. Joe Mama said, send Dumba to Jokerit. Essa can put in a good word. You guys are going after him a little bit. The other thing I would just say is, I looked at a bunch of comments about pairings, and there were several about, hey, let's have Bichsel stay on the bottom pairing. There's no reason for him to be given all this responsibility. I'm paraphrasing a couple of different chats. He ended up playing. Well, you know what? Let's get into it next here on the DLS Dallas Stars postgame show. Let's talk about being a diehard. The only way to go if you want the full DLS experience. If you sign up to be a diehard, and you can scan the QR code that's on the screen right now, or you can go to alldls.com and you can find the diehard link inside the website, and you can become a diehard. And it'll give you access to all. There's Lud's trying to hit the QR code. Some reason it never works for his phone. You can get all of the access to the diehard level production, the writing from guys like Sam and Sean, Tim Cato, Clarence Hill. I mean, let's name them all, right? Jeff Wilson, Joe Hoyt, great writers for all of our Mavs, Cowboys, Rangers, Stars, you name it. Plus, if you sign up to be a diehard, you get a free t-shirt, a promo code to be used at the All DLS merch store. And Ludge, remember how I was complaining that I had bought some stuff and I hadn't heard anything? I got an email today. They're being shipped. All right. So I got some new DLS shirts coming my way. And so we'll get that rotation going. If we have regular shows, which with the game schedule right now, there's like 2 every 3 weeks.
Well, maybe show up on time and people can see you wearing it from the beginning.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. We're going to be a little earlier to deal with traffic, but it'll be Saturday, and so there won't be any traffic. We'll be here at 3 in the afternoon. But once again, be a diehard. We did a great Let's Damn Discord yesterday. That was a lot of fun. I thought there were some very creative questions yesterday, so it was a lot of fun. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. There was a couple stumpers in there for me.
Yeah, which is what we want.
Yep.
It was about 20 minutes long, I think, was the final.
Well, the dumbest one
clock-in.
was you trying to get me to spell expeditious,
That was
whatever.
a T Farmer's question. I didn't submit a question. At least not this time. I did.
It was a ridiculously long word.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it was.
Supercalifragilistic. Yeah, that thing.
Can you sing that song, Luds?
I didn't know it was a song.
Oh, yeah.
Supercalifragilistic.
I believe Mary Poppins, right?
It's a Mary Poppins
Mary
song.
Poppins song.
Sorry, not on my hit list.
Well, let's talk about Lian Bichsel some more because it's fun. As we were talking about this, he played a little over 15 minutes tonight. He had 5 hits. 4 of them were in the first 5 minutes of the game. It felt like 5 or 6 minutes because he had the penalty.
The best one of those was off to the left of Jake. He actually had gone in to the wall behind the net. I don't know who it was, but they both came to the front. And he just took him and he moved him out of the crease area.
Yep.
There was no one there. That's what he does. He's
a bulldozer.
He's going to be a really good friend to the goaltenders. You know what I mean? Like he's going to allow the goaltenders to have sight lines in there. And again, the first penalty that he had, I thought that was not a penalty. But
I didn't either.
But you know, it's nice, and it's nice that that's his nature, I think. And so, and word travels.
I'm going to compare him a little bit to Jamie Alexiak because they're both 6'7". They're both very good skaters for their size. Jamie is different in mentality than Lian is.
Yes.
Lian plays with that edge. I remember when Jamie was playing in the AHL and even up in Dallas, everybody seemed to want him to play like Darian Hatcher. Yeah. And it wasn't his natural disposition. He was more of I want to make plays. But he would occasionally or more frequently get penalties, as you called it, big man penalties, where he just by sheer size disparity would get called for stuff because the other guy was just getting ragdolled, even if it didn't seem like much. Now, there are certain things where when you're that much bigger, you've got to make sure the primary point of contact on a hit isn't the head or near it because it looks worse when you're that much bigger. But sometimes the big guys just they get a lot of advantages. And I always go back to the 2007 Anaheim Ducks because that was a beefy team, right? Mm-hmm. Size, power, and because they won the cup that year, the whole league thought they needed everybody to be 6'4" plus and huge. Well, some more skill in the game now, and that's great too. But you also want some beef on your back end.
I think
Weird way to put it.
I think the way that I would look at Bichsel is he has to learn to play from the middle out, not from the wall back to the middle, because of size and quickness and things like that. And so as long as he's starting in the good areas of the ice and he works his way out versus getting stretched out like that one example that we just showed, because against some of the speed that's going to be coming up through the middle at this level, it's going to be hard to him recover there. So he just has to learn that, I need to be in the good area of the ice to start.
So Joe Mama, besides trying to call me lazy for making a comp with Alexiak because they're both tall,
Big rig.
they're actually two giant defensemen that played for the Dallas Stars. So I think it's fair to make those comps. And I watched Alexiak play from 2012 through the present. But he does bring up an interesting point, is he thinks the perfect comparable for Bichsel would be Dustin Byfuglien. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Buff could get up the ice and dangle, and Buff could play as a forward when they needed him to. I don't.
Nobody had his mass. He was like hitting a brick wall. When he really wanted to hit somebody physically. I mean, Bischel's not a small guy. Byfuglien was probably 50 pounds heavier. I mean, he hit you like a dump truck.
Yeah, but he was slanted more towards offense.
Yeah,
right. And I don't think this guy is going to be slanted towards offense. It's going to be in his toolbox, but he should be that rock on the back end to, when the good players, once he gets to that next level, he'll be deterring them from getting to those good quality scoring areas and scoring the hell out of them.
We got another super chat. JT, a little Bichsel, and I guess that would be Brendan Smith. Oh, too. Well, it's probably Hatch, isn't it?
I would think so.
So a little Bichsel and Hatcher. Does Bichel's play make moves toward the trade deadline a little easier? Obviously too early to tell, but he'd be our fourth lefty. I mean, isn't that kind of the hope?
I think that's where they want to get to. Again, it's all nice to be talking about this guy. It's just one game. And when you go and you watch this game again, you're going to see areas that he needs to improve on. So, which he's going to. It's just how fast is he going to get to that point?
Follow-up question. You mentioned when he scored, the league doesn't know him at all. But now they're going to start to get some tape on this guy, and they're going to start to look at the video. So you see stuff, the Stars see stuff to work on, but opposition teams will see it too.
Yeah.
So from the other side, St. Louis, Jim Montgomery and his staff, they're going to get a little look at this kid. What are they going to see? And what are they thinking? Are they going to?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say right now is when he's out there, and you're coming up his side of the puck here, I'm going to start shooting guys through the middle of the ice, and vice versa on the other side
because of that space that he
because
left
of the space. Yeah, he kind of wants to play again. You always want to be inside the dots, and there's times where he gets outside the dots, which is on the one that we just showed you. And I think it's just naturally going to be harder for him to have the quickness to recover. Like here, if you're watching again, he's even with the dots, and the puck is on the other side of the ice. He's got to cut the ice in half, and once he gets that, and I'm not saying he's done this a lot.
He's pulled to the left because that forward is posted up on the wall.
That's fine, but again, are we talking man on man right now? Because why are you there when the puck is on the other side of the ice?
I'm only asking just because that guy on the half wall or at the wall at the blue line isn't dangerous. Right?
Exactly.
He's 70 feet
what happened is the puck actually got moved from his side of the ice, over to that side. But he hung here. There wasn't any urgency. You got to cut the ice in half. Yep. That's the only thing. And again, I don't know if because this play as he comes up through the middle of the ice, I don't think he expected him, because you can tell he's trying to get there.
Yeah.
But he didn't recognize, again, it's just a speed thing. It's just going to be a little different.
Especially at this level.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You just got to give him some time to adjust.
Thank you, JT, for the super chat. Luds, should we do our Herman Marshall Marquee moment of the game?
Sure. You can go ahead and read it, and don't even ask me who the man of the match is then.
Here's the Herman Marshall Marquee moment of the game. Pick up your favorite bottle at your closest goody liquor store.
Bish and Bish for both of them. I mean, I don't know if anybody else on the Dallas Stars side deserved it, but for a kid to come out with all the hype and everything that's been going on around him, and then to be able to come here, we saw him in the preseason, we saw things that he was able to do, and come here tonight and play well, stand out in a good way, and then, put a period on it with a goal. I mean, you can take everything. The first part of it can be Herman Marshall, and then the man of the match will be the goal for Bish.
For every bottle of single barrel straight bourbon whiskey, Herman Marshall donates 15% of its revenue to the Guns and Hoses Foundation of North Texas. For those who went before, stop in to your closest goody liquor store to find your favorite bottle. So I don't need to ask about your man of the match because you just did both.
If I were going to pick anybody else, I would say Thomas Harley. I thought Thomas was good. I mean, he was up the ice. He had some good opportunities again. He created things. But anyway, yeah, it's special for me.
For me, man of the match, I think it's Justus Annunen. He was really, really good. I'm struggling because it would be either Annunen, Ryan O'Reilly, or Jonathan Marchessault. Those three guys in that 3-goal flurry in the second period, they won him the game. Now, Annunen this is his first ever game against the Dallas Stars. Second appearance as a member of the Nashville Predators after the trade from Colorado. He was a prospect goalie in the Avalanche system. He got up as the backup to Georgiev. They weren't getting it done. They made the move to get Wedgwood. It's worked out, by the way. Wedgwood's got 2 shutouts already for Colorado. And Annunen gets his first win with Nashville, and he was really good. Again, there were only a couple where I was like, wow, that's a big save. Most of it was he just didn't make any mistakes.
Did he have to scramble for a lot of second saves?
Didn't feel like it.
Again,
no.
that wasn't, his fault. There was guys on the other team.
John, you have a poll listed tonight. Did you?
I did. It was a troll poll. It was not like a man of the match poll. Didn't do that after the loss. But, yeah, here we go. If you it's up on the screen, Owen.
Okay, well, it says, who should the Stars fire after tonight's loss? Steve Spott, Ryan Suter, Matt Dumba, or Mike McCarthy? Who got the most votes? Mike McCarthy. That is by far a huge troll poll.
Yep.
Okay.
Work them in every. I won't be a habit, but we'll work them in every once in a while.
By the way, I think Wedgie played tonight, didn't he? So I don't want to burst your bubble, but didn't turn out well.
Well, I mean, see, this is the hard part. He's such a good guy.
Yeah.
You want him to do well. Great teammate for the Stars. However, he's playing for the Colorado Avalanche. And no love lost with them dropping points at all. They're a big rival right now. So I think I got to cheer against the Avs first, Wedgwood second.
So that was good.
How'd it go?
They lost. Avs lost 4-1.
Sorry,
good
Wedge.
news for Dallas.
We should get Wedgie on remote. He'll come on. We'll get him and have him talk about. I mean, think about this. Somebody joked in the dressing room.
Better wait and see, because if Blackwood goes in and plays 5 in a row, he might not want to come on.
Yeah, maybe. Wedgie would do it anyway. He likes to talk. How about moving teams right before the holidays?
Yeah,
that's tricky. With a young family, they just had their first child.
Yeah, that's a thing that Brian Burke used to do. He had his own personal deadline as far as players
earlier than the NHL freeze.
They couldn't move after, like, it was like 20 days. So he had his own personal for his teams, and in Vancouver and Calgary and stuff like that. He implemented there will be nothing happening, and so, which is cool.
Yeah, it's a tricky time of year for all that to be going on and trying to focus, but it's also cutthroat.
Yeah, it's a business.
And I mean, you'd argue that as much as Wedgwood signed as a free agent with Nashville, meaning he wanted to go there, he's getting a pretty good opportunity with the Avalanche right now.
Well, they're a good team. I mean,
they're a really good team.
They own again. They won a cup. That who was the goalie? Kemper.
Darcy Kemper. Yep.
And you know what? He was a little bit above average, and they won a Stanley Cup. And they're that kind of team again. I mean, they can sit and rely on 4 or 5 guys, and they can score some goals.
Those 5 guys are really, really good.
Yep.
And we're going to see them again. Maybe we'll see Wedgie in there. One more thing before we wrap up. It says Pac-Man photo.
Yes. Can you do the fast channel thing quick, though?
Of course. Well, if you're watching on our fast channels on TV tonight, thank you so much for joining us. For those watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on TV, switch over to YouTube, and we'll carry over to finish this one up. Okay. So it was video game night, John, at American Airlines Center. And
so I don't know if this has anything to do with it, Owen, but tonight is the Game Awards, which is like the Oscars of video games.
Maybe there's
so I don't know if
maybe it's more than a coincidence.
But on our little USA Today portal that we use to make the thumbnail and everything, I saw this photo. Which is, for audio people, 2 fans dressed in massive Pac-Man suits running across the ice, ostensibly racing each other. This is when you leave to come back here, I believe. So I don't think you saw it.
I missed
right?
this one. In the first intermission, they had a Mario Kart race where 4 contestants dressed up as Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Bowser raced in the pedal go-karts around the ice. And they actually, some of the ice girls, John, had bananas.
Are we talking about Bowser from Happy Days?
No, we're talking about Bowser from Super Mario Brothers.
Oh,
and
there's
Mario
a Bowser
Kart.
in Happy Days. Remember that? Did you know that?
I don't remember Bowser, but I remember
Real deep voice.
Henry Winkler.
Oh, yeah, that's the Fonz, man.
You've seen the statue in Milwaukee, haven't you?
Of Hank?
Yeah. He's
I
out
don't
there.
think I have.
The Fonz,
Well, he should be.
he's out there. He's in Milwaukee.
Laverne and Shirley?
He's right by one of the bridges over there. It's cool.
Joe Mama says that looks like a safety hazard, and I would be, if I were one of these people, I would be terrified of like blowing my ACL trying to sprint across ice.
Well, to be fair, it's at the end of the period. The ice is really chewed up, so it's not nearly as slippery as after the Zamboni cuts it. I've been on it a lot. Luds, of course, has, although probably more so with skates than with shoes. Yeah. And it's a lot easier to walk across that thing at the end of a period. The beginning, the trick is people try to walk on ice like they do on solid ground. You have to shuffle.
Yeah, that's your best bet. Try to keep both feet at ground at the same time.
Yeah, don't pick them up. Yeah. Just slide, shuffle along. It's you. I'm sure you've had some when you're coaching, some places where you have to walk the boards to get to the bench.
Oh yeah,
and I remember that from watching UMaine when I was a kid. That was my first hockey experiences. Were up there, and the coaches had to do that long because they didn't have bench access like most of these NHL rinks do now. Mm-hmm. And so they had to, 3-4 minutes to go in the period. Here comes the line of coaches, and they're all holding the boards, trying not to fall down in front of the fans.
Yeah, it's the scariest part of the whole weekend for me when I got to walk across the ice. Yeah.
There was I can't remember when it was, a while ago now, but it was internet age, which doesn't mean it's that new. But there was an equipment manager for a college team that was trying to carry all the reserve sticks, huge bundle from the bench across. And he was a visiting trainer. And I laughed way too hard. I feel awful because I'm laughing at this kid's expense. All the students are chanting, fall, fall, fall. And he's walking across with this huge, just really slow and teetering, gets about 3/4 of the way across the ice, and then just sells it out. Yep. Full yard sale. Gets up, starts picking up, and everyone's cheering and gets mad, just throws a couple sticks and walks off. It's a great video. If I could find it for Luds, because it's probably from like when I was in college, which was a couple decades ago. Anyway, bing, bang. We got a super chat. We kept it long enough. Ardell, a little Dumba. No, that's Lundqvist. And Steele. Why did he do that? Because he wants to see the logo again, John. He wants to see the graphic.
Hold on, that's Evil Spawn.
Not that one.
Where's Man of Steel? There he is.
He put 18 cents in that super chat just for that graphic, which John made for our diehard Ardell. Is Jason Robertson ever going to return to form?
We hope so.
We thought he did for a second there. We did a whole Luds film review about it.
Well, I didn't want to completely dump on him. Like I think that it's going to depend on who can slot into that spot over there that plays more like the other guy that he was playing with and can buy some time for him to find the holes in the offensive zone. He's got to play with they have to be a puck possession line for him to be effective.
Ardell wrote in the chat, Robertson getting beat on that icing at the end of the game really pissed me off. Mm-hmm. I'm not reactive. That hacked me off.
Yeah. Well, good news is game was over anyways.
It was, and it was just cosmetic.
Joe Mama, I'm going to town on some Sonic cheddar peppers. I don't know what that is.
Some Sonic?
Sonic? He's trying to get you.
I got to go right by Sonic on the way home.
He's trying to figure out what you're.
Oh, that's not Sonic.
Is it? It might be. What do you? It seems to be coming a bit with you. Is what fast food are you going to eat on the way home from the show? He's going to do it.
Not really fast food, but you got to stop for a couple.
Well,
is it Friday? What is today?
Today's Thursday.
Oh, it's close enough.
It appears they are breaded jalapeno peppers filled with melty cheddar cheese and served with creamy ranch dressing.
Sounds almost like a jalapeno popper.
I'm not into the spicy stuff.
Yeah.
No, not me. Nope.
But you'll find something to.
All I need is a little dish of pretzels.
I had some pretzels at the press box tonight.
That's it.
Yep.
That's all I need.
Well, we are back on Saturday.
At what time, Owen?
Yeah.
That's actually.
And make sure you're early.
Well,
Coughlin time.
I would like to point out that.
No excuses.
No. When I called John to say, hey, traffic, I'm stuck in this stuff and it's not looking good. We talked about, okay, I think we're going to go on, Luddy will start. We'll get some chats going on. We're probably going to dump on you a little bit. And I go, that's okay. I completely expect that. So
Well, I know. Well, whether I gave you a heads up or not, or whether I participated or not, which I did, Luds was going to.
also
So.
not a surprise. Both of you. Neither one was I at all surprised to get a little carving in my direction.
Funny thing is all these people that are tweeting or hashtagging or whatever you're calling this now, I told them in the pregame show, make sure everything contains a little hashtag.
I didn't
If
get
you're
any of
on
that.
time, you're late.
Didn't get any of that.
Nobody put that
No.
in there. I didn't see any of that stuff.
Well, the diehards didn't want to pile on me. So I appreciate you guys, even if these two are chirping me to no end. But as John did request, our pregame show starts at 6:15 p.m. Central Time on Saturday, Stars and Blues. So here's the real question, Luds, before we go say goodnight. There is a good chance we'll see Radek Faksa play his first NHL regular season game.
We got to make sure he's healed up in the right places.
I said it's a good chance, but
Okay.
it's not guaranteed because he took a skate in the midsection.
Yep.
Didn't play tonight.
Get ready, boys.
I don't know. That makes everybody cringe and get some goosebumps. And yeah,
A little lower than the equator.
he apparently was lucky it wasn't a little to the left or to the right. I don't know which direction
The
it
sky
was.
wasn't all that fell.
Well, Jim Montgomery had a pretty funny line about it could have been much worse. And I think, they only joke about that when it's not as bad, which is,
Or them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully Radek's okay. And we'd like to see him probably get a nice video tribute because he's been with the team, with the
Yeah.
Stars for a long, long time.
Yeah, I think he was loyal, just a good role player.
Yep.
Knew what his role was, knew what his job was, never made any waves as far as I know, just went about and did what he could do to help the team.
Hard to play against. Great face-off guy. Oh, look at this. Hardell. They better not put Suter and Fox on the screen together. Most coaches that appreciate a little sense of special, they'd start both of them.
I was just going to say,
Why wouldn't you?
they would.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fox and Suter in the starting line, assuming that Fox plays on Saturday. So,
All right.
6:15, our pregame show. I will be here. Probably too early. Luds will be here. Maybe Sam. Sam, this Gatorade bottle is yours. So we'll leave it here until you collect it next.
Not gonna lie, Owen, when you came in and you were holding the Gatorade bottle, I thought you were about to tell us that you urinated in it while you were in traffic. Like, I thought you were about to launch into, like, this defense of, like, how much of a company man you are. Like, look what I did, but then it was not what that was
That's
for.
not where I was going.
That was where my head went.
I thought more about screaming onto the camera on the scooter.
You don't wrap this thing up, I'm going to get up and walk off again.
Well, you should.
If you need to use the bathroom, the Gatorade bottle is right there.
No,
The funny thing is the ironic thing is that Sam is the one that usually needs to use the restroom the soonest. And he's not
we're
here.
wasting good
defend himself.
Thursday night time here.
All right. That's it. Lud says it's time. We'll see you on Saturday. Stars lose to the Preds. Burn it. We'll do it again in 2 days. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Tomahawk City.
See you later.
We all silly like the mayor.